rock this. We thinking we gonna do another episode. We be friends.
Okay.
Wow, that was my audition to be in the cold open, and you could tell that he's not going to use that in the cold open because he's just like, okay.
What?
Nothing. Cue the fucking cue card, dick.
Welcome back to Scoundrels, Inc., another Star Wars podcast. I am Frank Janich here with Kevin Smets, Brandon Hanna. We're back after, it's been a couple of months, guys. What's it been? It's been a while.
Been a minute.
Been a while.
Okay, cool. So it's been a minute. We're back here because we're contractually obligated from Studio 17, and they
We're contractually, yeah. We have to have at least one show on the air when we go to this LA Comic. So can we just bitch about Brandon for a second?
Yeah,
puts us to another LA Comic Con, which is fine because last year it was fine. We got out of with our skin of our teeth with like 50 people in there, which was great. We outdid Elijah Wood. But this year, Brandon's like, let's just schedule it at the same time as Andres Cabrera, bigger podcaster than we are, more followers on him, and he's with like 6 other panelists that have a combined, million followers. No one's coming to our show except Brandon, except Frank. Maybe I get to see Sabrina. My friend Taryn's going to be there, so it'll be good to see Taryn. Janine says she's going to be there, so it'll be us. We're going to play Scrabble or something. Brandon, what do you have to say for yourself?
First of all, I did not schedule it at the same time, okay? They scheduled it at the same time, and by the time I found out that there was at least two Star Wars, I think there's like a third one, honestly, another Star Wars.
Really?
Panel at the same time.
Yeah, Dave Filoni's going to be there to announce the next live-action movie.
Yeah, they're going to debut the Mandalorian Grogu trailer at the same time as our panel.
So it looks like
it'll be a satellite room for every other panel. Basically, we'll live stream their panels in our panel, and then that way.
Why don't we live react? Why don't we get a camera into the other panel, stream it into our room, and then we do a reaction live.
We'll do a live
to Andreas' panel. Yeah,
I think that's very innovative.
What do you think about that, Cabrera?
I think that's very innovative.
That's pretty clever. Because
really
nice. What if he fills the room and there's people who can't get in? They could come into ours and watch the panel.
Yes. I think this is it.
So what
Let's
we'll do
make
is
a
we'll
short out
send
of
Sabrina
this.
in there. She'll FaceTime your phone, Brandon, and then we'll project that on a screen behind us, and then we'll just all watch that. Our panel is watching another person's panel.
I love Scoundrels, Inc. This will always have a place to my heart, but I want to see their panel. I love that guy.
I know. I kind of want to be like, damn.
How about this? We take shifts. I'll start out over there and I'll watch
we'll just rotate in and out.
Yeah, I'll tag you in.
And we'll give each other updates on what's going on.
On there.
Yeah.
I love that guy. I saw him last year after our panel.
Yeah.
He was with Ken Knapsack. That was cool to see him. So I'd like to see him again, but no. It's all Brandon's fault. I mean, everything is Brandon's fault.
Guys, it's going to be, a packed house. Okay? I've been marketing it. I've been bribing people.
The only way it's going to be a packed house, my friend, is if our show takes place in the third stall to the right in the men's bathroom right next to the panel room we're scheduled at.
I told them
By
it's
the way,
going
it will
to
be
be
your
even more
birthday.
people this year.
It'll be your birthday. How many people are coming to your birthday?
I don't know, like 15.
Nice. But they're coming to the panel too, or just the birthday? They're coming for the wings and beer, not the panel, huh?
I tried to get them to come to both, and some of them were like, I'm actually going to come to neither.
I respect that. I respect that big time.
It does cost money to go to this Comic-Con, but I do, If you look under 4 and you're a female, you can go because Kira won't be joining us this time. I didn't work it out. I did work it out where my daughter won't have to be there with me because at first it was going to be quite the day because was going to be solely responsible for her that day, as my wife was unable. But we got a sitter in the town. That's why I'll be able to go to your party for a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
His party, everybody, is at Chuck E. Cheese. The Chuck E. Cheese off Grand and Central. So be sure to see it's in party room number 2, right next to the Dance
Wow.
Dance Revolution machine. All right.
That's great. So, moral of the story is we have a panel at LA Comic-Con this weekend, Saturday, October the 5th at 4 o'clock in room 402A. And
I didn't know any of this. Hold on.
and-
Can I write this down?
the title of our panel is Tales of Light, a look back at the dark side of Star Wars. Come to that panel.
Could I talk about that? Can I heckle you about this one too? Let's go back over to the title of it. Frank, what is it called again?
Tales of Light,
Tales of Light
a look back at the dark
at the
side
dark
of
side.
Star
That's
Wars.
like saying Tales on the baseball diamond, a look back at the NFL.
You know, Kevin's acting like he wasn't there when we all conjured up this title.
true.
I feel like I
group
read
chat.
like half our text and kind of skip the others, so it's a good.
I
title.
like
I'm
it.
joking.
You know, it's like
Of course you like it. You
you
came
got-
up with it.
You got the yin and the yang.
You liked it when you
know?
typed it in
got-
ChatGPT,
There's
is what you said.
contrast. There's contrast in this. Because it's it's about redemption arcs in Star Wars. Remember, we've been talking about this for years now. Too many redemptions. When are we going to do a show about that? Comic-Con, baby. That's when we're going
That
to do
was
a show
actually
about
going to
that.
be the first topic we ever thought about when
Yeah.
I remember writing it down. We were too many redemptions in Star
Well, that
Wars.
and what favorite droids, I think we did.
Yeah, favorite droids. The too many redemptions, wasn't that because there was what was the show that was on at that point where someone else got redeemed and we were like, oh, another one? Who? Was it?
Was it Obi-Wan?
Well, Obi-Wan never. Oh, you're saying was it Reva? It might have
Yeah.
been Reva. Yeah.
Maybe.
You get a
Maybe, but-
redemption arc. You get a redemption arc. You all
Hey,
get redemption.
redemption arcs are a key part of Star Wars. The dark side and the light side. And it's interesting to kind of tie all this into the real world at like the dark side of the Star Wars fandom as well. And
Yeah.
the division that's there. So, I thought that was interesting. But, before
Well,
we
you
get
know,
into all
Brandon,
that.
If there's too many redemptions, that's just too hopeful for people out there. That's too much hope. People can't handle all that hope and optimism. They just can't handle it. They want to.
But-
They want to feel dark. They want to feel sad. They want to wear their hood up and walk down the street and scowl at people and get them out of their way. And they don't want to be hopeful. These are dark times, Brandon. In the world, it's dark. We want to be dark. We don't want to hear about hope. Hope,
Well,
schmoke.
I'm not very good at segues most of the time, but this segues in perfectly. I remember reading some Adam Driver comments that were recent, so this is actually new news. This comes to us from AOL.com. It was talking about AOL. What is it? 1997, but
Jesus.
that still exists. JJ, he's talking about the arc. Adam Driver was, and he said JJ walked me through what he wanted to do with the character, but you had to sign up and be like, I'm gonna do it. And once I did that, I went to London and get ready for the pre-production. He had an overall arc in mind, said that Abrams wanted to do, the idea was Kylo Ren's journey was the opposite journey of Vader, whereas Vader starts the most confident and most committed to the dark side, and then by the last movie, he's most vulnerable and weak. He wanted to start the opposite. The character was most confused and vulnerable in the beginning, and by the end of the 3 movies, he'd be the most committed to the dark side. I tried to keep that arc in mind, regardless if I wound up being my journey anyway, because it changed while shooting. And I know that that's an old quote, but they had a recent one too, where he talked about it again, and he would have preferred. He said he liked the idea that he was going to be that there was no redeeming of Kylo Ren, and that was a change that JJ had to do, because, and actually the redemption arc started as early as The Last Jedi, and when Rian Johnson kind of did all those changes in The Last Jedi regarding Kylo, and all of a sudden they're doing the Force touching and he's shirtless and stuff like that. That was never part of really JJ's plan when he was first doing it, but apparently it was always going to be a baton situation anyway, which just is baffling.
Wait. You're saying so? JJ was saying like as the movies continued, Kylo Ren would get more and more confident in the dark side. Is that what
More
you
and
said?
more darker, yes.
More and more
he would
darker.
start
Well,
vulnerable.
I would
That's why
say
he had that
he
scene.
gets-
He said, "Help me, grandfather. I'm
Yeah.
feeling the pull to the light."
No,
and
right.
by the third movie,
I saw
he'd
the
be
movie.
so evil.
Yeah. I would argue then that in The Last Jedi, he gets definitely darker.
No, he doesn't. He's starting to like be cool with her and like force touch.
He's trying to tempt her.
gotta
He's
find that
trying
article.
to get her to join him, which is on the side of the dark because he killed Snoke. So I still think. Well, that's interesting that JJ would say that because then in the Rise of Skywalker, what does he do with him? like he redeems him. Like he didn't have to do that.
Man, I'm trying to find this thing, and like, oh, here it. Like, it's like Adam Driver compares Megalopolis to Star Wars. He likes Megalopolis better than Star Wars. All these quotes. I'll try to find it before the end because, it was very. I read this article and I was like, oh. Yeah, this is gonna bother the crap out of me now. But he was basically saying that it was with Rian Johnson's movie that they started. That's why JJ had to then course correct, and that the Duel of the Fates. Obviously, you guys know that script. Kylo's bad through and through, all the way. Like,
right.
He goes all the way. There's no redeeming him in that. Would have been an interesting thing. I'll try to find that quote while you guys keep talking. But
well, because I just think that. Yeah, Brandon, just to reiterate, I think Kylo was going more and more dark as he kills Snoke. He tries to recruit Rey. He literally sends every single laser on Luke Skywalker, on Crate. Pretty bad, pretty dark, like super excessive. So, that's interesting that if he's supposed to keep going further and further into the dark side, I think that continues in The Last Jedi. Brandon?
Well, Frank, I just wanted to say earlier that rebellions are built on hope, okay?
I was being very facetious with my hope comments. That's all. That's all.
What is she proposing? It's just like in Mean Girls. She doesn't even go here. But no, I agree with you, Frank. You know, I think he is pretty evil still in The Last Jedi. I thought, to me, him marching with like the troopers picking up the dice that like fade away, and like that moment solidified to me that he was on this path to be the supreme leader of the First Order, and there was no going back. But I mean, if you want to see like it as like his connection to Rey is like a glimmer of hope, then you could see that too. But
yeah, I'm not quite sure about that Last Jedi quote, but that quote is from a Rich Eisen interview where he was talking about how it was going to be the reverse. I also saw, he was like, he was Ben Solo from the beginning, but there was never a version where we'd see Ben Solo when I first signed up for it. The entire sequel trilogy, this is crazy. But he also said he's not coming back to Star Wars.
No, yeah, he's dead.
Well, not that. He just doesn't want to do any. Like, there wouldn't be, they got to get Timothée Chalamet as a young Ben Solo in a Snoke origin film, dude.
Listen, my biggest, I liked the way his turn was handled back to the light, but like my one gripe with it is that he doesn't say anything after he turns good.
Yeah.
He does too. He says "oof."
I thought it was "ow."
Oh, he says "ow."
Ow. Well, yeah, no, Kylo Ren wouldn't say "ow."
What's Ben Solo's last words? Ow.
Oh, look, I don't hate on Rise of Skywalker as much as other people do. The Duel of the Fates script's fantastic, though, and I just hate the knee-jerk reactions that studios do, just like all the time. But
I'll be honest too. I'll be honest. I don't care what the sequel trilogy was supposed to be or could have been. I don't care anymore. It's over and done with. Like the comments from Adam Driver. Okay, great. Like, oh well, that didn't happen. And then people are gonna get up in arms about it. Like, okay, what does that do? Like nothing. And the kind of actually over these past couple of months, as we've been on our hiatus, I've been really thinking about fandoms, and I'm curious about both of your guys' thoughts on this in terms of, like, we were kind of joking earlier in the week or last week about, like, what have we missed in the Star Wars fandom? Because a lot of crap was going down on YouTube, on Twitter, and, the Star Wars Explains, Star Wars Theory, all that back and forth. It was just messy and stupid and juvenile, and that's my opinion on the whole matter. And I'm not going to speak anymore on that because it doesn't really matter. But in terms of fandom overall, I just remember thinking, like, especially after Acolyte had ended and all of the toxicity that surrounded that, I was kind of like, honestly, it really did turn me off to Star Wars for a period of time. I was just sick of at least the online fandom. And I remember going back, in my mind of like, how did I first consume Star Wars? It was on my own. It was my own personal thing. And I kind of retreated back to that. I started scrolling way past anything Star Wars related. I wasn't really tuning into any of the news, or it was kind of hard to ignore the Theory Explained exchange because that was just all over the place. It was ridiculous. And also I was kind of like, well, what's going on here? I was kind of morbidly curious about it. And so, I did watch some of the videos, this and that and the other, and tweets and all that. But fandom. So again, I kind of shifted away from Star Wars for a period of time, and I started diving back into another fandom, which is football. And I was very happy about my Chicago Bears starting off the season. But when things go wrong or things don't go the way people want them to go, a fandom can get very toxic. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about in terms of the Bears, it's Caleb Williams, our new quarterback, the rookie quarterback, and our old quarterback, Justin Fields. We have backers of Fields and backers of Williams, and it's this fan base at odds with each other again. So it was like I couldn't escape the toxicity. So I was like, damn it. Like, let me just tune out all that stuff I was consuming online and on YouTube and reading, because I don't want to feel those negative emotions. While some critiques are valid and well thought out, there's a lot out there that's just a lot of bullshit. And I was just sick of it. I was sick of it from Star Wars. Now I'm sick of it from football. And so then Linkin Park comes out with new music and a new singer, and I'm a huge Linkin Park fan. They're my favorite band, and I was ecstatic. It was kind of weird hearing Emily Armstrong sing old songs with that Chester Bennington used to sing. Took some adjustment. But then again, more toxicity. People were pissed off. They should have changed the band name. They're erasing the past, this, that, and the other, and the Scientology of it all. And just like, Jesus, like, I cannot escape toxicity in fandom. And it really just made me shut down in a lot of ways and just kind of take it back to a personal level without seeking out others' opinions or being inundated with other opinions and takes. And it was a very kind of like a reset moment where why did I fall in love with this stuff to begin with? Is because it was like a personal thing to me. I consumed it on a personal level, and it was mine, and it was in my own way, and not not influenced by other people's takes, and being surrounded by other people's takes and I guess energy, if you will, to be kind of abstract about it. And it was just like I have to kind of retreat back to my own personal space for my own sake of mind. How have you guys dealt with, because we would chat a little bit about what was going on in the Star Wars fandom a little bit, Kevin. I'll toss it to you just on your thoughts on fandom in general, and then pertaining to Star Wars as well.
Ah, man, it sucks. Every fandom sucks. Like, just people are too Twitter, X, everything. Like, it used to be like you go to a forum and you sign up for the forums, the force.net, and you could be there. But if you're signing up for a Star Wars fandom, you're kind of excited about it. Now it's like everybody has, like, I watch wrestling, and there is the most exhausting AEW versus WWE battle, and I like both. I think having two wrestling organizations is healthy for the business because there's not a monopoly. The worst time at the WWF, WWE was when WCW went out of business. Then they went unchallenged forever, and they weren't pushing themselves to be the best. And now you have these two, and it could be argued because of AEW, that's why WWE upped their game and did so well in these last couple of years because they had to, because they have AEW nipping at their heels. But what happens? Everybody online is so toxic. There's fan accounts that hate AEW, and there's fan accounts that hate WWE. AEW just announced their big deal with WB and going on Max and simulcasting on Max. WWE, but all the WWE fans say, "Oh, only 150 million a year. Oh, Tony Khan's wait. That's wait. They're not going to last." Then WWE has their big Netflix deal. They moved SmackDown off Fox back to USA, but they're about to go to Netflix, which is going to be huge. All the AEW marks are talking shit on WWE, saying like, "Oh my God, the ratings are so low on SmackDown now. They lost 600,000." Yeah, because they're not on Fox anymore. They're on USA. Like, it's the difference of network TV. So the fandom in wrestling's bad. The fandom in Star Wars is bad. Like when I dabbled in World of Warcraft, but I don't play it as much as I just watch videos on it. But like the World of Warcraft people are always torn with every new expansion that comes out and how it's not how it used to be. Like, unfortunately, it is a different era now where there's so many keyboard warriors that are just able to just complain and bitch about everything. And I got it on my KOTOR stuff too. If someone doesn't like what we're doing, or I got someone complaining the other day because I stopped doing the prequels and we're doing the sequels, and I'm like, dude, I had to stop the prequels when I got cancer. Now I'm back. They got the other fellas. We got to finish the other stuff, and then we'll get back to it. Like, and people don't care. Like, it's just so easy to like complain and like hate on things. Because it's just so quick. Back in the day, like when Phantom Menace got all that hate, like it wasn't really like the online. Not everyone had a phone. Everybody has a computer on their phones now, so they can sit on the shitter, excuse my language, and complain about stuff. And it's in everything. It's in music. It's in politics. Obviously, like, you see whatever political leaning you are, you watch a debate. Everybody's had their mind made up for the most part.
Yeah.
So everybody who loves Trump says Trump won the debate. Everybody who loves Kamala says Kamala destroyed him in the debate. And they just had the vice president one last night. And all the Republicans think that J.D. Vance won. So everybody just digs their heels in. Relating it back to Star Wars, it sucks because there's so much more discourse about if you're allowed, like, if you don't like something, you're allowed to not like it. And people shouldn't jump on you for not liking it. And if you like something, no one should jump on you for liking it either. But they are. That's just how it is. And it's crazy when videos are being made about people liking it and people getting called out for being shills. Or if people hate it and people are getting called out for being grifters. Like, there are not villains per se, but both sides go at each other. And it's like, why do you care if you don't like it? And why do you care if you do like it? Like, and Frank, you have the right idea. You have to go inward and remember why you did it yourself. And you could, for all intents and purposes, like I always talk about my Super Watch, you could literally do the Super Watch, Frank, and not go online and talk about it and discuss it with anything, and literally enjoy probably every piece of Star Wars from Acolyte, which is the earliest canon now, all the way to the end stuff that's happening, post Rise of Skywalker. So, like, and you could enjoy it all. Or you could like some and not like others, but then you're not compelled to share it online. So there is a way to avoid it. It's hard because, it's so ingrained in our culture and our thing to just go online and talk about things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, the same thing. Let's not forget the DC EU and versus Marvel. And then within DC EU
Right.
Snyderverse fans shitting on anything James Gunn does right now before James Gunn's been able to do anything. Like, people are always going to dig their heels in. And for Star Wars, it bums me out because some of the bigger names that have not liked Disney Star Wars, and for some valid reasons, like, I understand why people would like and hate. I just wonder, in a vacuum, if no one was around and Skeleton Crew is awesome, are they going to be able to admit that? Or if it's not good, or if it is, or if it's really bad, are the people that loved Acolyte going to be able to say, okay, but no, they missed on this? Like, or are everybody going to dig their heels in, just like in politics where, nope, my boy won the debate, or no, my girl won the debate? Like, is people going to be able to just be honest with themselves? And it just sucks. It's really... I agree with you, Frank. Like, stepping away. I mean, you guys all make fun of me because I never get through my Super Watch anyway. But, like, dude, after Acolyte, I was so exhausted. I was telling them when we finished the finale on the Jedi Way, I was just like, oh, good, man. Like, and just the exhausting part of it. And, like, I liked one episode, when episode 5 came out, I loved it, and I was being called shill and all that. And then when I didn't like 6 and 7, I was getting shit on. Someone followed me into my KOTOR comments saying, "Oh, now I know what you look like," and like mad because I didn't like Acolyte enough. So there are villains on both sides. I'm sorry, like, and it sucks. It's stupid. It's dumb. Brandon, what say you?
You know, before I give my thoughts, Kevin, I just want to get a word from our sponsor, Scoundrels Sabers.
Hell yeah.
And you can get one of these bad boys at scoundrelsabers.com. And you're helping me fund my Tim fan film.
Wait a minute. Wait, Brandon, we just sold out. I got an email from our supplier. We sold all 2. Okay, we're all sold.
So the fan film is funded then.
Yeah. A $27 fan film. We had to refund one guy. He returned
Listen,
it. So.
all we need is a Tim lookalike who's willing to work for free lunch and a cup of coffee. And we're good to go.
Cup of calf, yeah.
Then that's canon, dude. That's canon. No, but this thing is actually really cool. It's one of those Goliath toy sabers. I finally convinced myself to buy one. Pretty cool toy technology that Hasbro missed out on. So go check that out if you're interested. Not a sponsor, but yeah. You know, yeah, it's a weird time, and it's funny you guys bring up like sports and politics and all that, because like I'm also just like super ingrained in that right now. Like literally, like as we're recording this, the Mets just blew an 8th inning lead in the game 2 of the wild card round, and lost the game. And literally, like all of Mets Twitter is like, the sky is falling. The Mets suck. The Mets are gonna Met. Why do they always do this to me? And it's like, every time they do that, the Mets will play great the next day, and then everyone's happy again. It's just like, bruh.
Padres won.
I had to
by the way.
unfollow someone, like a Mets
guy.
pundit.
Padres won tonight. Sorry for your Mets. They'll come back. They'll win.
I mean, that's good though, because I hate the Braves. So. Excellent.
I got invited to potentially go to the game tonight, but I was like, if I no-show Scoundrels again, you guys will give me shit. So I said no.
Listen,
So
you get
I'm here.
invited.
Remember that, Frank, when you're doing your end of your exit interviews.
Exit interview? What are you talking about?
What?
Oh, I'm quitting. Yeah, this is my last show.
Okay.
Well, not counting LA Comic-Con though.
Well, I thought this is LA Comic-Con. We're literally talking about the same topic.
No, we're not. What are you talking about?
Tales
This
of
is just
Light?
a tease. This is a little, like a little,
Little sizzle.
appetizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like what do they got at Chili's now with the mozzarella sticks? The 3 something.
Baby back ribs?
No, whatever their deal is. Go to Chili's, guys. Not a sponsor.
Can I just say real quick, as an aside, that it is good to see you guys, though. So I'll say that.
It's so good seeing you again.
Brandon,
Jar
continue.
Jar Binks. Yes. So yeah, no, it's just like brutal to be a fan of anything. Like I get, like I was pissed when the Mets lost tonight. I was like,
Yeah.
like fuck. I was like, excuse my language. I was like, but then you know, it's like, all right, well, what are you gonna do? It's like just like when you go see a movie you're really looking forward to and it's bad. It's like, all right, well, what am I gonna do? So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Kevin really said everything. I just wanted to put my own Mets spin on it, but
Can't spell Mets without we can't spell Smets without Mets, guy.
yeah, dude.
There you go.
S tier Mets
right.
with an extra.
You know, I was also,
Yes.
in terms of like fandom, I also started watching all the Alien films because I had only seen like a few of them, like Alien, Aliens, Prometheus, and I had not seen any of the other ones actually. And so watching Alien 3 and Resurrection, and I still have to watch Covenant. Covenant is the last one I got to watch. And it was fun like diving into that because I really liked Alien and Aliens, and I had seen Prometheus a while ago, and so revisiting those films and that franchise has been a lot of fun. Watching Alien vs. Predator, woof. Requiem, woof. But it was still fun. And I wasn't, I got soiled by a sour fan base. There's actually, I started watching like lore videos on Alien, like the universe. And there's a channel called Alien Theory. Swear to God. And I was like, what are the odds? Anyways, but the guy just makes great like lore alien videos, and I've just been like consuming that, and that's been fun. It's like step away. It's still a movie IP and franchise and all that and universe, which is fun to kind of delve into and kind of take my mind off of other things that can be toxic or draining. And so that's been fun. But now all I have is Alien Covenant to watch, and I did see Alien Romulus, which was great. I don't know if you guys seen Alien Romulus, but that was a lot of fun. So
and not to be cliche and argue about, because you have a right to your opinion, but you had said that like you didn't like Alien 3, and I was like, man, I loved Alien 3, and then that was it. Like we didn't fight about it, or like
no,
I didn't care
I was
that
like,
you didn't
man.
like it. It's like you're allowed to not like it. I
Yeah.
understand why. I like it for Fincher and all that. Like,
Full
but
discretion,
I get it.
I didn't watch the assembly cut because I didn't even know there was an assembly cut
that's
until
good, too.
after I had watched it, the theatrical cut. So, and then I watched some videos on the assembly cut, and I go, I could. One day I'll get around to watching it. I'm not in a hurry, but one day I'll get around to watching. So, I still have my own personal opinions on Alien 3, and I also then later found out that a lot of people do like Alien 3 or came around on Alien 3. So I'm like,
Yeah, like I said, it
interesting.
had like a cult following afterwards.
Yeah. And like the making of that film is just very interesting as well, with all the studio interference that Fincher had to deal with and all the scripts that they went through just to get a script to shoot. Really interesting stuff. But yeah, Brandon?
I'm more of a fan personally of Alien Explained. That's where I like to get my alien lore videos from.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Are there
seen
any hidden
all right.
emails out there that we can really just...
Have you seen my AOTOR movies yet? Aliens of the Old Republic?
You should.
There's a speeder bike chase with the aliens. With
the xenomorphs?
It's not in the game.
Not in the game, exactly. You're not playing
It's
in
an
the game.
original
You're not.
scene. This feels like this should be like a April Fool's Day episode. We're just like deadpan talk about Alien and pretend like there's all this stuff that's just
just swap out.
Well, didn't we have like an Indiana Jones episode? We called it Indiana Jones Incorporation or
Limited?
LLC.
I don't know. LLC maybe, yeah.
Archaeologist LLC, something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, fandoms suck right now. and it's because everyone
suck.
I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Everyone has a voice, but damn, we
everyone
got to
has
be
a
more
voice.
Their
responsible.
voices
with
are the correct ones. That's what's annoying.
the what?
Everybody has a voice and they're allowed to, and everybody has an opinion they're allowed
Yes.
to, but they're not tolerant of other opinions. That's the problem.
Yeah, we need to be more responsible with how we interact with one another in this world.
There's definitely like a balance, right? There's like tolerance of other people's opinions is really important, but then when those opinions like delve into like a certain type of speech that's maybe not good, it's like I think there needs to be like accountability on that side as well, and I think there's like a give and take, and there's just like the Force, there is a balance, my friend. A balance between freedom of speech and censorship and accountability and being able to share fair criticisms and from a certain point of view. And I don't really know where this allegory is going next, but I'm still doing the voice.
I will say that the split fandom really helped KOTOR, because when when the fandom has been never more split, so many comments I always get on our KOTOR movies, even the older clips, like, oh man, Disney should have done it your way, or you're better than Disney crap, which I never like those things. I never encourage it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because like our fandom has blown up in the last year, from like 25,000 to over 60 right now, which isn't good for the Convergence movie coming out. But
I was gonna ask because I had seen this out there that like the reported number for the budget for Acolyte was like 180 million or something like that. Can I? And then this pertains to like any movie, any TV series that's made. Like, why as a viewer, I don't know if any of you guys can answer this. Why as a viewer should I care if a movie costs $250 million or if a show costs $180 million for 6 episodes? Why as a viewer should I care about that number? It's not my money. I've already paid my streaming subscription fee. I've already paid for the ticket. I saw the trailer. I made a decision.
What's the budget for
I
Acolyte?
I think they said like 180 million or something like that.
All right, so here, could I just answer your question real quick?
Yeah.
You're allowed to be upset about it when like you have a legacy character like Obi-Wan and his budget was 90 million.
No,
But
but why? But why does the?
But why wouldn't you put everything into the Obi-Wan? But like that's your main like big character. No, they shoot in Fresno. You know what I mean? No offense, Janine, we love Fresno.
What I'm saying is though, like you can have a $280 million movie that does not dictate that the movie is going to be quality. You can have an $80 million movie like The Creator, and it looks amazing, right? So it doesn't. The budget does not dictate necessarily,
Quality.
the quality of the project that you're going to see. My thing is though, why should I care how much a TV show, a series, a movie costs to make? Why should I care about that as a viewer, as a consumer? Is there a particular reason why, 180 million? It's not I'm not the one spending 180 million dollars to make a series, and then that company made an investment in a project and it didn't pan out. That's not my job to worry about. I think when people throw around, oh, this movie cost this show cost that, or they didn't put, sometimes look, people have done a lot with a lot less, and people have done a lot more with less, and so I just don't.
Have you heard of Concord?
Oh yeah,
Grapes?
why did I think I saw that somewhere today in a headline.
Concord it was Sony's answer to Fortnite and to Overwatch, and they spent like something over like 200 million over. They started in 2016 when it's called a hero shooter. Those shooters are like back then were like the big thing. There was Overwatch leagues. My buddy Zach made me go to a match one time. It was pretty cool actually. It was like reminded me of Schmodown, to be honest. Schmodown reminded me of that when I first saw the Schmodown.
Okay.
And that game was so bad when it finally came out that not only did they refund anybody who bought it, it was only online on online servers for 2 weeks before they pulled it. That's how bad it was. The highest amount of people that ever played was like, you could check on like Stream Now or whatever, was like for a plus AAA title was like 1,700 in the world playing it at once, and it dripped down to like every day. Then it was like 200 people. Like that's how bad it was, and people found out the budget of that, and they were like, "Where does all this money go?" So there is a reason. Or when a player gets overpaid, right? People are allowed to think about it and care about it, but when they then take it online, Frank, and get mad at people are allowed to do it, and they can bitch about it online and stuff like that. It is funny though that. I think people are allowed to be upset about it. If for me, I'm not mad about it. Like, Acolyte, spending that much money on it, they really believed in it. Like, I have the list of all the budgets, right? So
I'm just like, if someone's like,
Ahsoka was 100 million. Obi-Wan Kenobi was 90 million. Book of Boba Fett was 105 million. Mandalorian, we got looks like it was 360 million. That's a lot, but everybody liked it. No one's complaining about that. Just to compare, the Star Wars Episode 3 cost 113 million. Skeleton Crew looks like it is clocking in at 136 million, and then the Acolyte is between 100 and looks like 231 million. So it's a lot. It's just if you're the coach or you're the GM and you overspend on a guy like Kwame Brown, who was a first-round overall pick for and then the Lakers, he was like a disaster after Jordan ruined him in the Wizards, but like he was a disaster. So people are allowed to bitch about it. Like Kathleen Kennedy, you're the coach. Why don't you put all your money in on Obi-Wan? Because that is like your marquee person, but instead you're putting your money on something that was an unproven commodity. That would be what I would say.
I think. When you're comparing sports rosters, that's different because that actually impacts how many players, what types of players you can get. You're limited, aside from baseball. Like, they have a cap, so you can only play with so much money, every team, again, aside from baseball. And so when you have a player eat up 30% of your payroll, you're going to get lesser. So there's that element to it where you can critique that. When it comes to movies and TV shows where there isn't a cap, you can spend whatever you want. You can spend whatever you want on a movie or TV series. There's no limit, you know. Sure, responsible producers and things of that nature will have a budget, obviously. But why should I care if they decide to spend $200 million on a TV show?
So people care because Concord spent so much money that this new PlayStation Pro or whatever it's coming out, this PlayStation 5 Pro is clocking it at $799, so $800.
So don't buy
but
it.
But the retail price before the Concord failure, it was going to be $499. So everybody's calling it the Concord tax now, that they failed, so now their money has to be taken from the fans. So that's why people can be like that. It's like, you know, or if Disney Plus does a price hike, right? You know what I mean? Like, or Willow, they take it off because they don't want to pay for the licensing's rights. So now people that like that show can never see it again, and there's no hard copy of it.
But these aren't
and
things that are like
they're throwing
needs.
$360 million.
It's not like you need you need that to survive. It's not like you could be like $700. I'm out. I'm not going to buy that. And then that's the company's fault. That's the company's fault that they made that type of decision and it didn't work out for them. Oh well, it was their money, not mine. I think when people throw around budget numbers or for whatever projects cost,
Well, I hear those numbers. I'll say this: I don't care about the budgets as much, but I am bummed that they would do that. Like all these budgets had more budgets than Obi-Wan, and like Obi-Wan is like your marquee guy, and you had Vader in it. Like, so that would be where I would be like, why? But I don't
also
care.
You got to remember that Obi-Wan was made during the pandemic, and there was supply chain issues and all that stuff. So I think that's a unique situation.
They should have used
But again,
the Force.
I don't care.
They should have used the Force.
That's not how the Force works.
Thank you. I was waiting for Brandon, what do you think?
Yeah,
man?
I was going to ask you, Brandon.
To be fair, I think about $100 million of that budget went to catering to feed Basil.
That right? Okay.
Yeah, he's a very real little guy who likes to sniff around, and he loves lobster and caviar. So
bougie.
And I say worth it. That guy
bougie
rocked.
Little critter. Okay.
That guy's awesome. Him and Kino Loy buddy cop movie, make it happen. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I get like not caring about the budget, but then also caring about because the amount of money could show like how much faith and why not put it into like a legacy character and things like that. And but I think you should give a lot of money to new ideas every once in a while because that's how new cool stuff is made. And I think something like the Acolyte is worth taking a big swing on. There's a lot of stuff in it that's great and worked and a lot of stuff that didn't. But I mean, I think that's always going to be the case when you take a big swing. There's going to be some big misses and there's going to be some home runs. Baseball.
Andor season 1, by the way, was $250 million. Andor season 1.
Andor's worth
$250 million,
baby.
So
hell yeah.
I'm just glad they did
I don't
a
know
good
what
job.
this was.
I'm just glad they did a good job. I'm glad they made a good TV show.
Did they make a TV show worth $250 million?
I don't know what 200. I will never be able to understand or grasp the idea of $250 million. I will never
All
know
those
what
bricks.
that's like to have that
Or
type of money to
230.
justify. I don't care. Does it look? The show looks great. It's a great show. I don't care if they spend
So it was a great show to you.
$25,
So it was
$250
worth the $250 million for you then. $231 million.
Things are only worth what they're worth when you like it. Like if someone was like Andor is the best show in the entire world and it cost $1 billion to make, they would go worth every penny, because I liked it. It was a good show.
I can see this ant crawling.
It's just a
on
good
my
show.
neck.
They spent what they spent to make it. Great. I'm not in the business of like looking at Disney's or Lucasfilm's spread bottom line, and like, well, if they would have just spent $25 million more, they could have made a better movie. Maybe not. I don't know.
What's Otani's
Contract?
contract? It's something insane, right? He gets
It's insane. It's like
700
70
million.
mil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like 70 mil a year.
How
and
much?
He's only getting paid like $3 million of that until the end of his contract.
Yeah, and then when it's done,
deferred.
then he gets like, yeah, it's like insane.
It's like, yeah.
Bananas. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think people are allowed to like have discourse about it, and like I feel a certain kind of way when I hear those numbers, and Obi-Wan was the lowest of all of the shows, but I get it, the pandemic and all that. So there are reasons, and I hear you, and I'm like, cool.
I mean, that's
But
like
yeah.
why I also think the show looks the way it does, because it was made during the pandemic. I just think
But I just think that budgets
there's a lot of
overall,
restrictions and things like that nature in terms of being safe with COVID and the people, people, did they want to work during? Could you get the people you wanted to make the show? Did they want to work during COVID? Did they want to work during those conditions? I don't know. I would imagine that, but that doesn't matter to me as a consumer, because all I care about is the product they delivered. That's Lucasfilm's and Disney's job to make it happen. I'm the consumer, right? And if it doesn't look great or doesn't, no one's happy with it or whatever, that's on them, because they made that decision. Is it unfortunate? Sure, as a fan, yeah, but I don't know that dollar amounts, it's something I, as a fan, should be. I guess for me, I'm not worried about it. Like if someone's like, "Oh, this movie is going to be $200 million. It's going to look great." Okay, we've seen $200 million movies look like absolute crap, so it's like whatever. I think we're harping on this, or I am, for no reason at all. I don't know. I have a lot of built up over these couple of months. So I'm sorry. What are you gonna do?
this is why we need to do the show a little more often, so then we don't have, we're like these pimples that just get so big, and then you have to pop it, and it's.
If I had any wherewithal, I would just cut
gross.
this out of the episode. But I'm too lazy to do it anyway.
Cut this topic out of the episode?
or a chunk of it at least, because I just kind of went around in circles at the end.
No,
of
I
the
think
I
you
did.
did it.
I did.
I think it was a good thing that you brought up. I think it's fascinating to think about it. Not that I don't always agree, like, and I see your point of it.
Yeah.
I just think that like I don't think that like a game like Concord should cost $250 million, and it's like, and now it's hurting the consumers. That I mean, I haven't had a PlayStation 5 this cycle anyway. I went Xbox, but it's crazy when I think it is people's business when it could potentially. I mean, it's never going to tank Disney, obviously, or Star Wars. But like, if you do love Star Wars, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, we're gonna really reduce the number of shows and stuff we do," it's because they're spending too much money, and they're losing money. Disney Plus is losing money. So, when they do spend that kind of money, Frank, I think people do have a right to be upset if it means that all of a sudden they're going to get less Star Wars.
If I work for the company, it's a different story, but I don't. So.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a couple like news items that have come out since we've been away. Star Wars Outlaws came out.
Did you play it anymore on their channel? Or
I have played it. I have
on
not
the
streamed
channel?
it. And I like the game fine. It's not like the best game in the world. I do like, and the only reason I haven't streamed it on the channel besides that one day is because my setup was kind of weird with the controller and all that stuff, and then B, I've just been doing a lot of like the side missions. I haven't really even delved too much into the main story. I've just been kind of like chilling on the couch, living in the world, which is fun for me.
That's cool. Yeah.
I like the randomness of just like I can just go ahead and just take out like an Imperial outpost. Like that's fun to me. That's fun.
Can you go to a cantina and like go to a talk to Twi'lek chicks and
No,
drink
you can
beer?
go to a cantina and you can like lean on the bar and like take in the surroundings.
Can you go to
If
the
you want.
Outlander Club on Coruscant, or is that not there?
No, we're not. There's no Coruscant in the game. There's Kajimi,
Cool, man.
which is cool.
Kajimi?
Kajimi, yeah. The game is. I think it has some fun elements. It's nothing groundbreaking by any stretch. I can't really speak to the main storyline. Like I said, I've just been mowing through like the side quests and things of that nature. So I think as I get further into the game, I might do a couple more streams on the channel. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I take it none of you guys have played the game, or have any of you watched like the lore storyline videos that are out there? I'm sure.
Go, Brandon. You go ahead.
My answer is no, not really. I watched Frank play it a little bit when he went live on the channel, but that's about it. I know
I
that there's
watched a cutscene with a very famous character.
Kira.
No.
No.
Well, I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't gotten that far. It's pretty badass. It involves shards of glass. So if you don't know what that is, then I won't spoil it for you. Keep playing.
Okay. But anyways,
Splinter
You know what I'm
the
talking about?
I have not
Mind's
gotten that far.
guy.
But you know what I'm talking about then, or no?
I think maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's a cool scene. That's the only scene I saw, and then I saw Frank dick it around with it at first. How's fandom? Everybody, when we talk about fandom, are they loving it or hating it? Or is it the same? Is it the people that don't like Disney Star Wars that are hating it, and the people that love Disney Star Wars are loving it?
I guess people don't like the game. But
All of them across the board.
I guess I think it's gotten like middling reviews.
Oh wow, that's how we're gonna unite the fandom again.
Yeah,
through hatred of Outlaws.
But that just might. We'll see, because there's organized hate campaigns, not just in Star Wars, but like across everything. If a group of people decide we don't like this, they're gonna review bomb crap and just like I can't. And that's another thing. Going back to fandoms, like waking up every day having to feed off negative energy is like an insane concept to me. Like, why do you want to absorb and be surrounding negative energy? Like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah. So, moving on from Outlaws, I just saw the trailer for the new John Williams documentary. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. I'm actually really looking forward to this documentary because obviously John Williams is the fucking GOAT. He literally wrote the music to my entire life. Have you guys seen the trailer yet?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Did you guys even know about it?
Didn't I saw it today? I saw it.
Well, now that you know about it, how do you feel about a John Williams documentary?
Oh, it's gonna be good. I've been diving back into the music because I'm scoring the end of Convergence right now. So I've been enjoying his soundtrack. Rise of Skywalker soundtrack. For all people that not liking the movie, it's a very great soundtrack. He killed it. I'm glad that his last Star Wars soundtrack.
I was a little more underwhelmed by Rise, to tell you the truth.
I think that Rise, it has a good selection. It's like an all-star game. It's like an all-star team. It has all the, it has the homage to Attack of the Clones when they're on Kijimi. It has Yoda's theme when Luke raises the thing out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
It has, I just think that the sequel trilogy, I think they were good with the music. I could see why you would feel underwhelmed because they didn't really create any new themes that were too memorable.
Yeah, I guess
how
maybe
in
that's
Return
it.
of the Jedi, they had the Ewok theme for the first time and the Emperor theme for the first time. So I get that. This was more we're going to rely on all the themes we've had throughout the saga, But it's been great. We're using some of it in KOTOR.
There was a podcast a while ago, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, that dealt with Steven Spielberg, John Williams, George Lucas, making Star Wars, making Jaws, and
really?
It was an audio drama of type of sorts. I forget what it was called. I think it was called Blockbuster was the name of the podcast. And actually, I think I had told, going back to Schmodown days, I had told PJ Campbell about it. And I was in town. I was in LA visiting one time. And in the car, I think he picked me up from the airport or train station or something like that. And we're in the car. And I was like, you got to listen to this podcast. It's great. And Chance Ellison was also in the car. And we just kind of drove around LA listening to all the episodes of the podcast. It was great. I think it's called Blockbuster. I think there's 2 seasons. The first one deals with George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, John Williams. And then the second one, I think there's a second season. To my knowledge, there might be a third. I don't know. But the second one, I think, deals with Robert Zemeckis and maybe some other people. I can't. I'm not quite sure. But nonetheless, it was a great podcast. If you've never heard of it, if you've never listened to it, I do recommend Blockbuster, the podcast.
Wow, that reminded me. I should check that out. There's another one that Frank you love, and And I actually just found the episode while you're like, it was called Star Wars Oxygen, and it's from the Rebel Force Radio guys. Whatever you guys want to think about those guys, I know that some people don't like them, but they have a Star Wars Oxygen show, and I remember, and it was in 2015. They did a Force Awakens breakdown. Part 1 talks about Rey's theme, and Rey's theme has Ben Solo's theme hidden in it, and vice versa. And both their themes are the Force theme is hidden in it too. And they do it where they play the theme and then play the other theme under it, and then it's like this. It's crazy. So
that's cool.
I highly recommend that too. It's called Star Wars Oxygen, and in Oxygen number 25 was the Force Awakens Part 1, and they discuss the Rey's theme recurring throughout the entire soundtrack, even hidden in Ben Solo's theme or in Kylo's theme. But it's the same kind of thing where but this is where they'll take one piece of music and talk about it for like an hour. And like shockingly enough, you can sit there and it's really fascinating. I highly recommend that. And I know you were talking about too, Frank, that Holy, when you were watching The Predator, how it sounded like Back to the Future soundtrack.
Yeah, Predator with
another thing that's similar
is
because it's the same time frame, right?
Yeah.
John Williams did Star Wars and Superman the movie around the same time. When you listen to the Superman the movie, not the main theme or the love theme or anything, but just when you're watching the movie, the underscore and whatever, very similar. Like,
you find that a lot with
his horns and stuff. What's that?
You find that a lot with composers who do a lot of work in like a period of time, where if they're doing like, they do like 3 movies in back-to-back years or whatever, or 2 movies in 1 year, there's still a lot of similar things they're pulling from. Yeah. So that happens. Because they're just kind of like in that creative space at that moment when they're making all this music. But then you listen to something, maybe 10 or 15 years down the line, still similarities, but they're not pulling from like the same bag all the time.
And sometimes like the same instrument, like there's a lot of oboe and stuff like that in those 2 scores. And then of course we all know, and I'm waiting for Brandon to bring it up, the Harry Potter.
I was waiting for that.
The Chamber of Secrets, exact same track from the Zam Wessel chase in Attack of the Clones. And again, both movies released in 2002. So
identical.
I will text you and bother you about it again. You should really listen to that. It's Oxygen number 25. I'll listen to yours if you can link it to me.
Yeah.
You listen to Oxygen about the Rey's theme, and it makes you really appreciate that score too.
Interesting. Another bit of news that I saw pop up over the past few days was Giancarlo Esposito said something to the effect that there could be a trilogy of films. He could see it going that way in terms of the Mandoverse, the Mando movie coming out, and that the way he sees it, it could end up with like a trilogy of its own, which is like, okay, well, I guess somehow Gideon survived.
Yeah, why is he talking about it?
Which that's not surprising to me if Gideon comes back. We didn't really see him die, truly.
His clone will be back.
Or maybe it is a clone. It could be, actually. That'd be
the clone
too.
Died. The real one's still there.
Whatever the case may be, Giancarlo Esposito seems like he's going to still be involved in the Mando movie. What do you guys feel about, Brandon? What do you feel about a trilogy of films, especially because it seems like the streaming model, everyone's getting really like standoffish with the streaming model and wanting to go back to movies. It seems like at least that was the idea behind the Star Wars Celebration announcement with the 3 movies, right? Mando, James Mangold, and the Rey movie. Kind of going back to that, whereas we don't have anything on the calendar in terms of Star Wars television outside of Skeleton Crew and Andor, and we don't even know if a second season of Ahsoka is going to happen. I think it might, but who knows? What are your thoughts on that, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that the movies are good, and it's going to be interesting to see how Jon Favreau balances the fact that when you're watching it, you want to feel the same way you felt when you were watching the show, but you also want it to feel cinematic and like not just like, oh, they're on the volume again, Right. So it'll be interesting to see, but as long as the films are good, I don't care if there's 1 of them or 3 of them or 2 of them, or it doesn't matter to me. I think I've just kind of gotten to the point where I'm like just like invested in like, oh, this should be a movie and this should be a TV show and this should be this many and this should be about this, and I'm just like at this point, like, I'm tired. You're tired. Like, just if it comes out, I'm gonna go watch it, and if I like it, I like it, and if I don't, I don't.
Kevin, what do you think about a trilogy of Mando movies, which I guess would include, would bring
I don't
in
know
like
about that.
Ahsoka and
Oh yeah. Okay.
like like the Mandoverse characters basically would have 3 movies to kind of tie up. I guess the Thrawn, threat at that point in the story of the timeline, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I hear Ryan Johnson's doing the second one, so that should be interesting. They're giving him the middle movie of the trilogy.
Oh,
so
that's a
we'll
wise
see where it
decision.
takes.
That'd be funny as hell.
That would be incredible, honestly.
It's called The Last Mando. I don't.
Oh man. Is
Yeah,
he at least going to take off the helmet in the second one? Is he going to take? I think it's smash the helmet in the second one. He's going to smash his helmet.
I don't know about that.
I'm excited for the rise of
Like it's
Grogu,
the last Mando and Grogu movie. So now I'm hearing this trilogy. I'm like, what? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I had heard that this was the last movie. It was the last tale that he was going to still show up. Like they would show up, but they won't have any more Mando movies. So, but there's not going to be another season either. So like this is it.
Yeah. I don't know. And then like also there's news that the Rey movie is on hold and it's probably not going to start shooting until 2025.
They need to do my Obi-Wan season 2 idea, where Mace Windu is alive, tattered, scarred. Listen.
No. That's Star Wars Theory. He's doing it right.
No, I know he's doing his thing, but that's not my story. My story is Did
you read a script?
Mace Windu is so fucking jaded from the Jedi, being thrown out of a window, and then when he comes to, he sees how the galaxy was taken over.
He's mad at the Jedi for being thrown out the window?
He's mad at the Skywalker. So when he finds out there's another Skywalker, he's like, there will be no motherfucking Skywalkers anymore. So when he finds out there's another, he goes on a mission. He's trying to he doesn't know about Leia. So he'll go to Tatooine, and he wants to wipe out. He hears this plan, and he's like, you fucking idiot. Obi-Wan, you already tried to train someone, and he cut off my arm and threw me, and then his buddy threw me off a building. I'm pissed. I don't want any Skywalkers, so no. And I'm going to kill this fucking kid because you can't train him. You can't control him. Yoda couldn't control him. None of y'all control him. I'm going to kill him. And so it's Mace Windu's heel turn. But all the best heels and villains are justified. And he's kind of right. Why are we trying to raise another Skywalker? We saw how the last one was. I'm going for Mace. Kill Luke.
Nature versus nurture.
And then Reva comes back and saves him, guy.
There you go. Yeah, out of nowhere, her blade comes
Wait,
to block it.
That's from my movie.
He's literally about to kill him, and then Reva's like holding it like this and blocks it, and she goes, "This party's over."
There we go.
So no,
That'd
I
be
don't want any.
incredible.
Yeah, let's do that, and you could spend $250 million on that thing.
But you know, it'd be
Come
funny.
on,
like,
guys, you can admit that's kind of a cool geeky idea that he's so he hates Skywalker.
I'm only
Why
going
are
to
you
agree to that
racing
because I
another
know it'll never be
Skywalker?
made.
I'll make it in the KOTOR. I'll make it, guy, with AI. I'm gonna make my own AI.
I bet
movie.
you will. I bet you will. Type
making it
clacking
tonight.
away on
Can we
the
get-
keyboard, making your Mace Windu movie, and then he says, "This party's back on." You know,
The party. The
party's just getting started.
Yeah. The party's over? No. It's just getting started. And
I
there's like
tell
a
you when
melt
the party
in his face.
begins and when the party ends. And I say,
And for Luke, for Luke, his party's done.
oh boy. You know what? I think we're gonna end it
I'm
right
gonna
there.
have
on a happy note.
ChatGPT write it, and we're gonna act it out on our
Yeah,
next.
yeah.
That's what we should do at the panel, dude.
Act. You want? Okay. Yeah.
Let's act out ChatGPT's version of Obi-Wan season 2, where Mace
be
Windu
like-
comes back.
It's gonna be like in Thor when Matt Damon is playing. it's gonna be that quality. You know. I
It
forget
is
what
funny though. Think back now. They just got their asses kicked by a Skywalker. What should we do? Oh, I got an idea. Let's raise another one. How do you? Come on.
Okay. Well,
I'm on Mace Windu's side in my fictional Mace Windu movie.
I can't wait for the AI movie to come out with.
That could be a
Kevin
season 2
Smith.
of Obi-Wan, and you could get the Cody part in there.
Oh god,
you know.
you're so people are so obsessed with this Cody thing. It's like
It would have been
incredible.
rad.
It would have been cool, but like, man, people are really just Cody. We could have had Cody. We could have go.
Well, no, we got what we got. I'm the one who likes I like Obi-Wan, and too much to everybody making fun of me all the time. But you got to admit, some of those ideas, like, I guess the context. There was an interview where the Stuart Beatty, who did
writer?
Supergirl. What movie did he do that we used to have to study his name for, Brandon? Now I forget.
Pirates. He did a lot of Pirates.
No,
movies.
He directed one of the bad movies. No, he directed a bad movie. Hold on, Stuart Beatty, director. Yeah, I'll find it right now. He directed I Frankenstein. Was it that? I'm trying to think.
Oh, maybe.
We used to have all of these memorized, obviously, and now we don't. He only directed 2 movies, and so the only movie he directed was Tomorrow. Yeah, he directed I Frankenstein, and that was it. So
there you go.
It's just funny, all the Cody love for me is like because I haven't watched a ton of the Clone Wars. My real only like memory of Cody is like a CGI Tamira Morrison just going, I think you'll be needing this. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cody. We have a battle to win.
I do think it's cool that Cody, the lore being that Cody eventually found the chip and dug it out himself, and then felt obligated, that he felt really bad.
Yeah.
And he found Obi-Wan, and that's cool. And it made sense. The one weakness of Obi-Wan leaving is like, oh, you had one job, dude. Like a Yoda should be like, your one job you had. Why the fuck did you leave? So him having Cody watching over Luke would make sense, right? So he could have been there. But it's not. It's all woulda, coulda, shoulda. I get it. But the Jawa. The only thing I'm sad about is we never got the Jawas disposing of dead bodies. Like
That's
people
funny.
in this universe, they dispose dead bodies in the Sarlacc pit. And if I could ever weasel that into a KOTOR movie, I will. But and how Cody is. They killed a bunch of bounty hunters going after them, and to hide him, he's throwing them into the Sarlacc pit. And apparently that's what everybody does over there. And so then all of a sudden, in the script, another speeder comes around or something, and it's Jawas getting rid of a body.
Kevin, you should take all these scrapped scripts and make them KOTOR movies, like with the KOTOR flair on them, and just refinagle them, and then give the people what they want. I guess.
I like that someone made the Duel of the Fates. Like they animated the comic. They did a comic book. Of Duel of the Fates, and then someone animated it. So I mean, if someone wanted to do that with the Obi-Wan thing, but. I'm not I like the Obi-Wan show, but I think it would be cool to have Cody. I think that would have been a neat.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but that's not what happened. Oh well, that's where we're gonna leave the show this week. Remember to go see us at LA Comic Con on Saturday, October 5th at 4
It's
p.m.
streaming live on StarWars.com, by the way. You guys know that, right? Our panel live on StarWars.com.
Right.
You can stream it on
Finally,
TV,
the
on
shilling
Roku,
has paid
Hulu.
Yeah. Again, LA Comic Con, Saturday, October 5th, 4 p.m., room 402A. Tales of Light, a look back at the dark side of Star Wars. That's the name of our panel. Don't look at any other panel that day. Just go to the 4 p.m., room 402A. Make a beeline to that room, and you won't be disappointed.
You think you heard Andres Cabrera's voice next door? No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You did not.
Wait, is his room right next to ours?
I think it might be.
Oh my God. 402B?
Serious?
I'm gonna bring like a glass and like a.
It's not B. It's not that close.
I'm not going. I'm not going. This is bad. I don't want to go. This is like gonna bring up all of those like feelings of insecurity that we had in high school when you had a party and no one showed up and they all went to the other guy's party and you're sad.
All right, let's get out of here.
Everybody went to my party.
We'll see you Saturday at LA Comic Con, and then if this is after that Saturday, then we'll see you in the next one. See ya.
Scoundrel. I like the sound of that.